Sure do.
We have a lot more news, weather, and traffic headed your way.
NBC Connecticut News at 6 starts right now.
Now at 6, breaking news. A man is dead after a bullet flew through his window in New Haven. This morning, the search is on for the person who pulled the trigger.
The United States will withdraw.
Sweeping reaction after the president pulls the United States out of a global climate agreement. How the nation is responding and new details on a late-night decision about the president's travel ban.
Some sun to start your Friday as you look live at pictures from across the state, but we're still watching for a chance of showers.
And we're tracking that, plus what the weekend has in store, all ahead in your first alert weather.
Good morning, I'm Ted Comp.
And I'm Heidi Voigt. Let's send things right over to meteorologist Bob Maxon, who's here with your Friday First Alert forecast.
Hey, thanks, and good morning, everybody. Right now, our First Alert live Doppler radar scanning the skies clear. Now, the skies aren't totally clear. Some waking up with brilliant sunshine. Others have this little deck of wispy high and mid-level clouds that have kind of taken over. Temperature, Falls Village down to 40 degrees. Mike and Jennifer in Colebrook at 40. Jeff in Staffordville just 42. So let's make sure the kids have a sweatshirt on as they head to the bus stop this morning. What we have going on here is we do have a cool pool in the atmosphere, and with that, up above, it's cold. So the sun shines down, it warms up the ground, the warm air rises, it encounters that chilly air up above. You get those big billowing clouds like we saw yesterday, and with that, some scattered storms. But not an all-day rain or anything like that, and not every town gets wet. There you see the 40s and 50s out there this morning. Your planner today, so notice we mix the sunshine with puffy clouds, and for a while this afternoon, a few storms will fire up with briefly gusty winds, some small hail. These storms should keep moving from west to east, so keep an eye toward the western sky. If you see them threatening clouds coming in, you take cover, and that thing moves by, and then everything's okay. In fact, going into this evening, I think things will dry out and clear out beautifully. So today, sunshine mixed with clouds and a widely scattered thundershower. Hannah Mordeau is watching the roads this morning. More weather coming up in 10.
Good morning, TGIF, everybody. Right now, 95 in Old Lyme, East Lyme. We do have one lane still blocked for construction, causing things to slow down just a little bit between exit 69 and 72. Let's take a look at our map. So the rest of our state, all that overnight construction is cleared in Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven. No issues there. We are starting to see some delays on 95 headed southbound in Bridgeport. That's check of our roads, guys. Back to you.
Hannah, thank you. We're covering breaking news out of New Haven. A man is dead after a bullet came flying through the window of his home.
It happened late last night on Greenwood Street, and that's where we find NBC Connecticut's Leslie Mays. She's been following this story since we went on the air at 4:30. Leslie.
New Haven police have been here since late last night working to try to uncover exactly what took place here. And now they're hoping that with daylight that may shed some light on this crime scene and give them answers about who shot and killed a 28-year-old man who was just sitting inside of his house last night. Let's go to video so you can see the scene here on Greenwood Street. We'll tell you what we know. According to New Haven police, the victim who was shot and killed, his name was Joshua Rivera. They say he was inside of his home at about 10:18 yesterday evening when someone on the street opened fire. ShotSpotter technology told New Haven police that at least 10 shots were fired here. One of those bullets making their way through a first floor window here and hitting that victim in the head. He was taken to Yale New Haven Hospital. That is where he was pronounced dead. But police have been here on the scene since yesterday evening investigating. And right now they don't have much in the way of a suspect description. But what they do tell us is that that suspect apparently was a male and fled on foot north on Greenwood Street, heading in the direction of George Street. Now, police say that they do expect that they will be here for quite some time, continuing to investigate. There are actually residents who are not being allowed onto this street as police do their work here. But, of course, they're asking for the public's help now. If you know anything about what took place here, if you have any information about the suspect, call New Haven police right away. We'll give you any new information we get. But for now, that's the latest in New Haven. Back to you guys in the studio.
Leslie, thank you. 6:04 right now, and breaking news out of Terryville. Crews are responding to a fire at a home on Main Street, also known as Route 6, just east of North and South Riverside Avenue. It's unclear if the road is shut down right now. No word on what started the fire or if there are any injuries. We will bring you any updates as they come into our newsroom.
And we're also following breaking news out of Vernon, where officials say a transit bus has hit an apartment building at 100 West Street. And we have learned there are no injuries, but so far we don't know the extent of the damage or how the bus ended up hitting the building. We do have a crew headed to that scene. We'll bring you any updates straight ahead. Breaking overnight, the White House making a plea to the Supreme Court to immediately reinstate the president's travel ban.
The order would block travel from 6 predominantly Muslim countries. Through a late-night request, the Justice Department is now asking the nation's highest court take up an appeal on lower court decisions that have blocked the controversial ban. The department says the U.S. will be a safer place if the policy is put in place.
There is sweeping reaction this morning after President Trump's decision to pull the U.S. from the landmark Paris Climate Agreement, the global pact to end greenhouse gas emissions. The United States will now join Syria and Nicaragua as the only UN members not signed to that global treaty. European leaders say they will not renegotiate the agreement if President Trump decides he wants back in under better terms, something he has alluded to. We'll have much more on this developing story throughout the morning, and we're going to take you live to Washington, D.C. for a live report in just a few minutes. But now to a story the NBC Connecticut troubleshooters were first to report: a teacher at Lyman Memorial High School in Lebanon accused of inappropriate conduct.
This morning, state police are investigating, and the teacher is on paid leave. NBC Connecticut's Jennifer Joas has the latest from Lebanon.
Well, this teacher's actually on paid leave while this investigation plays out. We're told that she was escorted out of the high school on Wednesday afternoon. State police are investigating her for inappropriate conduct. Now, a parent and a student we spoke with say that this all stems from a non-school related gathering over the Memorial Day weekend. According to them, a group of students had gathered for a party in Basra. The student says while there, the teacher went down a zip line into a body of water. She was only there about 15 minutes. Now, we're not showing the video or naming the teacher because she has not been charged. This student also said that he didn't see any alcohol at the party. A parent we spoke with who did not want to be identified says this is upsetting.
I'm really concerned. My son is a student at Lyman, and I would hope that the teachers would be good role models, and I'm really sad to hear this. And if she loses her job, that's really sad, but she should have thought before she did what she did.
Now, a student we spoke with who was actually at the party sees this in a much different light.
Jennifer, thank you. Route 32 in Willimantic is back open this morning after a deadly motorcycle crash. Police say a motorcycle and a car collided near Quercus Avenue around 8 last night. The motorcyclist was pronounced dead at the scene and has not yet been identified. The road was shut down for several hours for the investigation.
Now to an update on a story we told you about yesterday at 6. A judge is delaying rulings on whether to grant probation programs for 6 UConn students charged in connection with the death of another student. Police say 19-year-old Jeffney Polly was hit and killed by a campus fire vehicle back in October after drinking at a party. The 6 students have been charged with alcohol-related crimes in connection to Polly's death. If the programs are approved, those students would be put into accelerated rehabilitation and their charges could be erased.
6:07 right now. Community leaders are calling for a more public investigation after a 16-year-old was killed in an officer-involved shooting in Bridgeport. Jason Negron was killed after the shooting on Fairfield Avenue last month. Troopers say Negron led police on a chase and refused to stop hitting other officers when the officer fired. Connect advocates in Bridgeport will be calling on the mayor and police today for new meetings to help clear up their unanswered questions.
Well, today is Wear Orange Day in remembrance of those affected by gun violence. It is also the 3rd annual Gun Violence Awareness Day, where people across the country come together in search of solutions to gun violence. This morning, Governor Malloy and leaders in Hartford will be holding a ceremony at St. Francis Hospital to mark the occasion.
6:08 right now. Coming up, breaking news overseas. At least 36 people dead after an attack on a casino in the Philippines. What we are learning about the suspect and whether this was terrorism related.
Plus, we're getting a new look at the man who bombed an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, England, killing 22 people. The new image is just out from police.
Right now, we have a blend of sunshine and clouds out there to greet you on this Friday morning. And later today, there may be a few storms. We'll talk about that and your weekend weather. First alert forecast coming up.
And we continue to follow breaking news out of New Haven. This is a live look at the scene. A deadly shooting under investigation on Greenwood Street. Gathering more details on this, we'll bring you the latest coming up.